Welcome in, everybody. We got episode 20 today, and this one's going to be a good one. It's about protein deficiencies. Protein deficiencies, causes, symptoms, effects, and solutions. Protein deficiency has become more commonplace. Why is that happening?
Well, if you have a look at the standard American diet, it is made up primarily of carbohydrates. And worse yet, refined carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And so you go somewhere and you get a burger and you get a piece of meat in there, about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then you get this huge bun and all of this other stuff piled on top of it. And so what are you getting? You're not getting.
Well, in some cases, not even real meat.
Oh, exactly. I know, and they have fancy names for that now.
Yeah. What are some of the side effects of protein deficiency?
Well, there are a lot of them, but the main ones would be edema, which is fluid retention, especially in the legs and sometimes in the hands and arms. Hair, skin, and nail problems, loss of muscle mass, fatty liver, mood changes, increased appetite, so you get hungry, immune suppressions.
So what is edema? How is it related to the protein deficiency?
Well, when you don't have adequate amino acids in your bloodstream, the body tends to have a harder time regulating, moving, and eliminating fluids. So they tend to build up in the extremities.
Got it. And so how does protein deficiency affect hair, skin, and nails?
Well, your hair, your skin, and your nails are all forms of protein. And they all require specific amino acids in combination, different combinations, to maintain the quality and quantity of hair, integrity of your skin, and of course, healthy fingernails.
So muscle mass would be an easy one to figure out why you lose muscle mass because of that. But what about fatty liver?
Well, the liver can form fatty tissue under a variety of circumstances. The most common circumstance is alcohol excess, but there are others. Protein deficiency is one of them because the liver requires a constant flow of amino acids in order to carry on biological function.
Got it. And so what about appetite changes and mood changes?
Well, that's a thing that a lot of people don't think about, is that your brain, in addition to fluid, is almost 100% protein and amino acid structures.
Yeah.
So if you are deprived of the key amino acids that the body needs, it's going to affect brain chemistry. And that can result in either anxiety or depression.
Either one.
And everything in between.
What about what groups are more susceptible to protein deficiencies? I would think it would be older adults, right?
First and foremost, it's our senior citizens. And there's two reasons, maybe more, for that. First and foremost, proteins, when we get older, are very hard to digest. And so when seniors choose food, they choose to avoid or reduce protein foods because they're harder to digest. Also, teenagers and young adults. Because they're living off of this fast food junk. And oftentimes, college students are on a greater than tighter budget.
Yeah.
And they can't afford decent quality protein food. So they eat junk because it's cheap.
And carbs is cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is the best way to combat protein deficiencies overall then?
Well, first of all, my advice to teenagers and young adults is to get a protein powder.
Oh, yeah, like a whey protein.
Yeah, that's my favorite, whey or egg. You'll lay out $20, but it's cheaper than trying to get protein in at every meal.
Yeah.
And then, if you can have that protein shake once a day, and you're going to get 25 grams of protein, at least you're ahead of the game by that much.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
For our senior citizens who have trouble digesting protein, a good digestive enzyme
Oh, okay.
with betaine hydrochloride to increase the stomach acid, because proteins only digest in an acid. So you want to increase the stomach acid. And years of abuse have often damaged the stomach's ability to produce that acid. So by adding a good digestive enzyme, we can overcome all of the annoying side effects that seniors complain about when they eat protein foods.
Perfect. It's really eye-opening to find out about how many people are deficient in protein. It seems something so easy to do, but often overlooked.
Well, here's the thing. We live in an illusion.
Yeah.
We're constantly told we are the most affluent, richest nation on earth.
Yeah.
And yet, protein deficiency affects probably at least 30% of our whole population.
That's
now, there's a lot of different reasons for that. But you would think, in theory, an affluent nation wouldn't have such deficiency problems.
Yeah.
And so we ignore them. Well, it can't be true. But in fact, it is.
Yeah. Next up, we are going to discuss something that I saw in the news recently about firefighters and B-12 and glutathione. And the California Board of Pharmacies, the website to do some more research about this if you want is stopthebop.com. Very interesting story. It almost sounded like a fictional story when I saw it on the news, and I brought it up to Dr. Whiting, and it was just so strange to me. The California Board of Pharmacies are voting to ban B12 formulations and glutathione. Why do you think they're doing that?
Okay, so we're gonna cut to the chase here.
Okay.
Who's doing this? The California Board of Pharmacy. What would the California Board of Pharmacy have as their primary interest? Drug peddling.
Yeah.
Well, why would they want to have natural, healthy nutrients that have been proven for decades to protect and benefit the lungs of our firefighters?
So the firefighters, let me understand this. So the firefighters benefit, they're in the fire, they're breathing
all that junk
all
in.
these chemicals from burning houses, burning clothes, burning toys, burning plastic. They do B12 and glutathione to do what?
Well, glutathione first of all, it's an amino acid, but it's a very powerful antioxidant.
Okay.
And it has been shown to support healthy lung tissue. B12 is the energy recovery nutrient. And B12 injections would be very good for people that are constantly in that precarious and lung-damaging situation.
And then plus they work like these long shifts and everything, like 12 hours,
24
15,
hours sometimes.
24 hours, yeah. What currently, so the insurance covers the natural supplements now. Why do you think that's important?
Well, because that way they don't have to pay for them. They get it automatically.
Yeah.
And there's a much higher percentage of people who would be using them if they didn't have to pay. And the California Board of Pharmacy can't prohibit somebody from taking these supplements.
Yeah, well, they said that in the news story.
What they're going to do is they're going to try to get it off insurance coverage. And they want to cover their delicious little drugs instead.
Man, it's so sad that they would do that to firefighters. And so glutathione is important for lung integrity, and B12 is essential for red blood cell production. What other nutrients do you think would you, like, let's say they the California firefighters hired you. what else should they be doing naturally to help protect themselves? Like the B12, glutathione, what else do you think you would add?
First and foremost, a full spectrum supplement, because we want to keep their body chemistry balanced.
So all the vitamins.
Because it's a high stress job what they have. So you need all the B complex to cover that stress. But the single greatest nutrient is a second amino acid like glutathione. It's called NAC, N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine has been shown to be the single most powerful antioxidant in protecting lung tissue.